streaming.
Broadcast streaming. With streaming over the internet, I must say.
Lord
Speaking
Almighty.
of like Wilton Southern Belle, I did get a copy of South of Midnight. Started playing it.
Oh, yeah, no, John was telling me that he likes it. What do you think?
Oh, I like it so far. I'm really hoping the grandma is just evil white woman.
You like for the grandmas to be evil white women.
This grandma I want to be evil white woman. Because if she's not evil white woman, then there's going to be some sort of kumbaya bullshit that happens, and I'm going to be like, this is not, I'm sorry.
You heard it here first, folks. Jack does not like restorative justice. He wants people to burn.
Oh, no, I'm Asian, baby. Restorative justice, my ass. I want to see heads get cut off. You know, like that's I think that shit's genetic, you know, like I got it. I don't believe in let me put it this way. So restorative justice is definitely what I think would be best. But I'm tired of being on the business end. I'm tired of being on the business end of getting fucked at the last minute because of that shit.
Restorative justice is best. I'm tired and petty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm tired and petty. I'm fucking tired. I'm getting old. I'm petty as hell. You know, I'm no, like we're getting to a point with justice where I'm like, if I don't get mine, where deals off. I want my justice.
Fair. You're responsible for me having an earworm in my brain for the past 48 hours.
Oh, which one?
So 2 days ago, I was talking to a trans female friend of mine, and because it's getting to be that time of just like, okay, do we think I can get estrogen? If so, where? It's like it's that time, and so and it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't want a full transition. I just want a bit of like, I want like a low dose so I can have like that androgyny curve.
Okay.
And like the skin softening, fat redistribution, that whole thing.
And
right?
me, the cis male is just gonna turn into the old queer eventually, having done nothing.
I'm sorry, this is the way of the world.
I know.
And so we were talking about that, and she was just like, okay, well then let's talk about the possibility of tits, because of course that's always a possibility, right? And she was talking about hers, and the way the conversation went from the dark recesses of my brain came, I got those heavy boobs, heavy boobs. Dance like dying stars. I got the heavy boobs, heavy boobs. I can't run
real far.
And it's been there for the past 48 hours, and I'm just like, I love him, but I hate him.
Oh, well, you're welcome. You're welcome. Oh my God. It has been, oh man, speaking of revenge, it has been it's been a week.
Oh?
It's been a week. So,
we're
just talking about that outside world, right? Tariffs here, tariffs there, tariffs here. Oh yeah, by the way, we're forcing people to show ID for voting. Yes, this affects you.
Also, we paused the tariffs.
And then we paused the tariffs. And then the market went down anyway. And then it went back up again. And I'm like, you know what? I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm just going to be... ICE is going to be the Stasi. It kind of already is, but it will get more so.
It's really weird the amount of people who were just like when it went back up ever so slightly, by like what was it? It was like less than 2 points or whatever.
No, it was 3%. It was
Oh,
noticeable.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. But the amount of people who just went like, "Hooray! Look, it worked." I'm like, no, that's not what that means.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. Some people can't do math.
KQED at SF's Embarcadero Plaza, giant nude sculpture nobody asked for. Excuse me? Excuse me, bitches.
Everyone wants a
Everyone
nude
needs
statue.
a giant nude statue. Fuck you.
Honestly, the fact that I don't have one in my front yard, and the fact that like I don't have one in my front yard that has like water coming out of nipples is a
Yes.
travesty, honestly. Um, I feel as a queer person, I'm owed that by my government.
Yeah. Controversial San Francisco venue that replaced Slims announces closure. Wait, they bought Slims and then rebranded it YOLO?
And then it
And
failed.
then it failed. I wonder fucking why. Everyone knew Slims. Everyone looks at YOLO and goes like, well, you don't want my business anymore. I want a giant nude statue in my backyard. I want a
I
giant
mean,
nude statue in my city, like that nobody asked for. Oh, shut up, SF Gate, you fucking mumsers.
to be fair, you also want a sizable nude statue in the corner of your bedroom on a plinth with like a light on it. Very tasteful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love that.
absolutely.
I love that.
Absolutely.
I love that you've never said that to me, but I know it's true.
Oh, yeah, no, it's true. I mean, I need room for it, is the only problem. The only reason I don't have such things is money and space.
Beaches. Look who got paid.
Hey, Flashman. Oh, glad you got paid. That's awesome.
I
Fun things
just
to
got
do in the
paid.
Bay Area this weekend. Look at the giant nude sculpture.
Look at the titties.
Yeah, look at the titties. I mean, and they're reasonable titties. They're like, they're definitely there, but they're not like what I would have done.
And it's interesting, right? Because and wait, hold on. Speaking of titties,
Mm-hmm.
I think this is funny. So I was talking to my younger brother. My younger brother is a trans man.
Okay.
And so my brother, who has not had top surgery yet, so he wears a binder like
Mm-hmm.
a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was talking to him the other day, and I was like, wait, wait, wait. If I start like microdosing estrogen, you recognize, right, that there's going to be this overlapping Venn diagram of time where when I want to be more masculine, I'm wearing a binder in case I grow breasts. And because you want to be masculine, you're wearing a binder because of your breasts. So there's literally going to be this moment of time where we are the binder brothers, and it's going to be hilarious.
Nice. Nice.
Trans humor hits different. No, I refuse to put on thigh socks and learn to code. No, you can't make me.
What?
Literally everyone who
All
that's
right, this
that
one needs explanation. I'm not hip to this one.
oh, well, okay. So you know the stereotype about how like all trans girls are coders or programmers
They
because
are.
because so many of them are.
Okay, so a lot. Okay, I did not know this. I did not know
Mm-hmm.
this.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the
And
trans women I know are either sex workers or models.
that is like the other like huge side of it. Then there's like a decent amount of, like in the middle where it's like, no, we're just like average people who go to work. But there's a large amount. Wait, what?
The Binder brothers are either trans or Mormon. That's what they
True,
said.
true.
That's what Jay Tilton said.
That's
And
Jay
Flash was
Tilton.
talking about his man titties.
Furries too makes sense. Yeah, no, exactly. It's the trans women and the furries. They're the ones running the internet, man.
Hmm.
And
See, I
so
knew that about the furries. I did not consider the trans angle.
it's so much of a stereotyping joke within the trans femme community that like the thigh high socks that the very stereotypical trans woman slash femboy thing of like, yeah,
Oh
we're
yeah. Thigh
yeah
high
we're
socks because like for some reason because people can't afford boots no more.
yeah like the notion of like, yeah, we're gonna wear our big hoodie, our skirt, and or dolphin shorts and the thigh high socks.
What the hell's
uh
dolphin shorts? Oh, the ones with the little flare on them.
yeah
Okay, all right, got
yeah
it, got it, got it.
yeah
All right, I figured that
um
one out. I figured it out.
so this is enough of a stereotyping joke that within the community, at least within the younger parts of the community, the thigh high socks are referred to as programmer socks.
Okay, I just realized something.
Oh no.
I
Okay,
just
cool.
realized something. So what you're telling me is, in many ways, the identifying trans programmer outfit is the absolute inverse of the romper, which is good because I hate rompers.
Well, I mean, look, the girl thighs need to breathe.
Yes. Whereas boy groin needs to be suffocated at all times, apparently.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I know computer programs are built by women. This is the way. No, you're correct. You're correct. Oh,
This is
man.
the way.
I finally, by the way, I've been working all week on redoing the Babylon Kickstarter, and I'm making breakthroughs.
Oh no, he's making
He's making
breakthroughs.
breakthroughs. It's. So I got this. All right, I got this paragraph I'm a little proud of. This is just stuff that's gonna be on the Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
Words that you read. The modern world is a place of horror and darkness. Whether they know it or not, mortals are under the control of beings known as the overseers, twisted angels who do the bidding of a petty false god. In order to set things right, the world needs young heroes of pure heart to stand up against the forces of heaven and restore the proper balance. But instead, it gets you. You are a nightkin, an amoral monster that's more interested in partying all night than saving the world. After all, you're supposed to be the bad guys. This whole saving the world thing is someone else's job.
There's an epic quest. Nah, fuck that.
No, like there's an epic quest. No,
No.
we say no. We got other
Love
shit
that.
to do.
Oh, wait, Jay Tilton, is that a Thai term? This is oddly a lot of Katoi here work for 7-Eleven. No idea if it's a hiring initiative or just 7-Eleven hires everyone. Is that like a Thai term for trans women? Is that what that is? Or like the cultural equivalent? I'm
I
learning
do
today.
not know. Yeah. So what do you think of that paragraph?
That sounds fun.
Okay, cool. All right, good.
That sounds fun. I'm intrigued.
All right, excellent. I need, yeah. So,
I'll say this. I'll say this. If I'm gonna be very supportive of that paragraph, I'm gonna say, oh, this makes me want to play it. If I'm gonna be hypercritical of the paragraph, then the answer would be, this makes me want to read more.
okay, that's either one. Both of those are good. Both of those are good. This is the origin. This is why I was bitching to people like on Discord all day about like how hard ad copy is to write. That took more than a week just to get those usable sentences. The amount of actual writing that it took to get those sentences, much more. But holy crap. Holy crap, this stuff's hard. I want to come on here and make it look easy just because, that'd be cool, but like no. No, I got to be honest. No, it's actually quite difficult. You know, it actually does take a lot of work. I don't know why I feel like I have to do that, but I do. And speaking of things that I feel like I have to do, speaking of things, of things that I feel like I have to do, I feel like I have to be more. I have to stay just as genuine as I always have been, which means always pushing that envelope. You know.
Well, yes.
You know, and
I think
because I'm getting to the point where I'm like having to dig kind of deep when I'm like writing things, because all the easy, superficial stuff that is safe is has been said. Now it's getting like more embarrassing. It's getting a little less certain in many ways, even though it never is certain. And I still have to move into a mindset of I can't be giving the audience what it wants. I need to give the audience what it needs. And what it needs is...
Well, I mean, you have to give the audience what it needs and trick it into thinking that it's what it wants.
That's what it wants. Yeah. It comes down to this. It's like, no, it needs a monster game with big titty demon chicks and trans vampires. If the world doesn't have this, can the world said to be whole? I don't think so. I also like to think that this unexpected nude statue that everyone's talking about on the SNK is a sign. Like Babylon herself is trying to be like, hey, we're trying here. We're trying. You know, all is not lost in San Francisco. Not everything. It's just...
I'm trying to toss my hair and make my titties glisten.
Yeah. Just a little bit of that. Holy crap. And especially right now. Right now.
I think also, and I'm not saying this because I'm like, oh, this is totally happening. I'm saying this because it would be wrong of me to not be like, oh, watch out for that road, you know.
Don't go down that road.
Don't go down that road. It's like, hey, I need to sleep at night. You know, I need to be able to be like, oh, don't do that shit.
Right.
But okay, so you are right in the sense of like being genuine and constantly pushing the envelope is a struggle that you have to rise to meet. But also, you have to be careful about not becoming old man who yells at cloud.
That is the hard part. The hard part. The only thing that I can say to that is in order to do that, I have to build the bridge between where other people are and where I am. There's going to be no way I can avoid people going like, oh, he's an old guy. But there is the possibility that I could get the people who say that about me to look like the lamos.
Well, the way you do that is not give a fuck about that.
No, yeah, it helps.
You know.
It helps. But I got to give enough of a fuck in order to build this bridge.
Well, yeah, you can't go through... Look. I understand you're a Gen Xer Satanist. I understand. But you can't go through life giving absolutely no fucks, or at least pretending to give absolutely no fucks. You just can't. It's not cool anymore. Being in touch with your emotions is cool now.
Well, the thing is that I am pretty in touch with my emotions. Just my emotions are primarily anger.
Well, that's a good place to start.
Frustration and anger, especially now. Like, before, I was always an angry guy. You know, I was always a pretty angry guy because I always thought that it was not everybody else's place to tell people what to do and how to feel. You know, and no matter what period of time you live in or you live through, those people always exist and they are always a problem. You know, the watchdog of common decency is their known lower form of life. You know, kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see that's why I don't like deal with that shit at all, because I'm just like, no, that's all bullshit. Fuck you. I Again, it's one of those things where it's like the only time it's appropriate to interject in like, and not even like forcefully, just like maybe a bit aggressively interject into like how someone be living their life, is when it's like, hey, you're scaring the hose, man.
You're scaring the hose, or you're making this my problem.
You're scaring the hose and you're fucking it up for everybody.
Yeah.
Stop that.
Exactly. And I'm like,
You know, that's why it's okay to punch fascists, because fascists want to dictate everyone else's life. And not leave anybody alone.
Don't need to be nice to that. Don't need to give them no quarter. You know,
exactly.
Like I felt that way then, and I feel that way now. I believe in being fair, but if you're not interested in being fair, fuck you. We're done. That's the discussion. You know.
If you're not going to play fair, I'm going to pack up my toys and leave.
Well, right now it's like we're getting to the point where they're not letting me pack up my toys and leave. So I got to be like, okay, so I guess I'll just start shooting you with them. You know, like I'll just start throwing them at you, because are you fucking kidding me? You know,
apparently not.
And I was, oh man. And I heard this. I heard this, and I was like, so I was talking to somebody, a person, a real person. I know we have artificial people now that exist in text on the internet, but this was an actual person. I know them. I have confirmed that they're human. And I was talking to her, and I was like, what is this weirdness that a lot of younger people have around sex? Was this, in your opinion, was this always here and I just didn't notice because I'm a mutant? Or has there actually been a shift? And in their opinion, they were like, no, there's actually been a shift, and it has to do with misogyny. And I was like, go on. She's like, yeah, it absolutely has to do with misogyny, because like, couple things. One, no one wants to talk about sex in an era where abortions are illegal. So there's that. The other
not condoms for men, but abortions and IUDs. Those gotta go, apparently.
I don't know. I thought condoms were fine. I always did. I always will.
Oh yeah, but they're not going after that, because that's something that men control, is the condom.
Yeah. They're trying to control birth rates, quote unquote, which is the dumbest fucking shit. You know, which is the dumb. It's like, because look, as I've said before, I'll prove to you this ain't really about birth rates. Because if I got their wife pregnant, they would not thank me. You know, they would not go, thank you for contributing to the fight against the declining birth rate. They would be like, hey, you fucked my wife. And I'd be like, I thought that's what you wanted.
I wanted you to fuck your own wife and have a child. Oh, she doesn't want that though.
Oh no, we're not doing we're not doing that. You know, and
no, this is going to be your problem now at your house.
Yeah, you're out. That's the idea. You know. It turns out this male has better access to sex than you do. So it's my responsibility. Impregnation is my responsibility.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because I do think that misogyny is probably one of the prime elements of the shift of which you speak.
Oh, yeah, I think so, but I hadn't thought of it that way.
I think one of the others is the furthering of the involvement of the internet and social media in the daily lives of people.
Yes. Yeah.
Because how to put it, I actually think people my age are probably the last generation of people, like outright, who were able to go through our fumbling, horny, stupid, saying crazy ass, like cringy shit phases, with mostly with anonymity.
Yeah. It was. But now we've all got. Now the panopticon is watching everybody.
I was about to say it's it's fucking Foucault's panopticon.
Yeah, and when
Yeah.
and that doesn't. When you're my age, you don't give a shit anymore. I do not give a shit about that, and I never really did. And this is part of me being a mutant. Like, one of the main reasons I never entered porn is because I didn't trust the contract.
Wise position.
Yeah, like that I didn't like. I didn't like the contract, I didn't have a moral objection to it. It was just one of those, I don't know, man. Like,
This wording's a little vague.
This is a little, I don't trust this. But
the way this is worded, it sounds like you're going to try to steal my kidney after the money shot. And I'm not about that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, no, this is not cool. Like, there are other ways for me to make money. But center. But you could probably come up with anything that I have done sexually, and I'd be willing to talk about it. I might be awkward as fuck about talking about it, but I'll talk about it. Like, I'm not ashamed of any of that stuff.
Fair.
But at the same time, I understand why nobody uses their real name when they subscribe to someone on OnlyFans. There's a certain level of privacy that you want. And I think that's very important for human development.
Hey.
The idea of having, Yogi.
I was just going to say, hey man, look, it's never going to compare or beat that fucking lieutenant governor who went on to Pornhub as himself and started just saying wild shit.
Yes.
I am a black Nazi. What?
Yeah.
Who do you... First of all, I consider myself a sexually liberated woman. I consider myself a sexually liberated being. What kind of pervert leaves a comment on a Pornhub video? I know that they're there.
Yeah.
I know that they're there, but all those people are unhinged.
Yeah. I go in there, I get what I'm looking for, and I get out.
Get out.
I do not need to be leaving comments. Have you ever docked? Can't say that I have.
That's a question.
Yeah, I haven't. I am not equipped to do that on someone, first of all.
Yeah, we're both circumcised.
Yeah. So the other guy would have to be, and I've never been with an uncircumcised guy, so
Oh, you haven't?
I have not.
Oh, it's an
I
experience.
have not. I assume so. I assume it's a little different,
Yeah, but it's fun.
North Carolina governor who's into trans porn while being transphobic. Say it ain't so.
No shit.
I know.
No shit. The amount of okay. No. We're gonna talk about this.
Oh, let me get. Oh, no. I'm gonna need coffee then. I'm gonna need coffee. You're gonna have to hold your lips for 1 minute.
Nah. Hi everyone. How are you? Heat from fire, fire from heat. Anyway, By the way, Jay Tilton, I have been reading your comments answering my question. Thank you for the highly in-depth explanation. I appreciate that.
I'm sorry there, Blanche. I needed my coffee. All right.
Ricky. So I need to stress that.
Wait, Stacy Nunya Biz says my ex got circumcised because of me. Did you give him a chlamydia or something?
Like what? How did you cause that to happen?
How did you cause this?
No judgment. I just need details.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. Let me fucking tell you something. When you identify as a trans feminine person, whether that be a full-on trans girl, whether it be trans femme non-binary, like whatever on that end of the spectrum, right? Mm-hmm. The minute you do that and you are on the social apps, not even just the illicit ones, but any of the social apps in general, the amount of cis straight identifying men who hit you up for mommy dick, and then
whoa, back up.
No, it's exactly what it sounds like.
Okay, it's exactly what I think it is. Okay,
it's exactly
right.
exactly what you think it is. It's like, no, I perceive you as a girl with a penis that is hot. I want you to dominate me with girl penis, like that. Which, hey, that's fine. There is not a goddamn thing in the world wrong with that. But the amount of times that they do that, and then if you look at their profile, it's like guns, flags,
American flags, and trucks.
And
my wife is a Ford. My wife is a Ford F-150.
50. Me and my gun wife. Yeah, no. The amount of times that happens, I'm just sitting there like, no way in hell. It's legitimately insane.
Oh, Stacy Dunyabiz says that it was a blowjob accident.
Oh,
that caused him to need circumcision.
Oh,
that
no.
that must have been traumatizing.
I hear, Stacy, I hear you. I acknowledge you. And I acknowledge the trauma that must be attached with that incident. But I must also confess, hearing about it long after the event and removed from it does make me laugh a bit. And I apologize for that instinct.
Yes.
For that base instinct. But
yes, Alvin R. Cody says that blows.
Oh. Oh. Jesus Christ. But yeah, no, so having even like a small amount of that experience You tell me that like Republican lawmaker who's anti-trans like caught with trans porn. I'm like, yep,
Mm.
absolutely. Happened to
Yeah.
Alex Jones too. He had it on his computer. We could see it on one of the monitors. It was very funny. Research.
Research, tranny porn.
Then why are you halfway through the video, Alex?
Shut up.
Why is it paused?
Oh, you scared me. Oh. Well, like it's. Oh, hey, actually, this actually is something that I'm wondering. It's a linguistic question.
Hmm.
All right. Are you cisgendered or do you have a cisgender?
I think I think much like I think much like trans identity, it's one of those things where it's like cis is the cis is the umbrella. How you personally view your relationship with your inborn gender, that's a case by case, you know what I mean? That's a you to you thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Like you are a cisgender man, but if you
Mm-hmm.
talk to other cisgender men, the likelihood of you not all having the exact same idea of what that means to be and act as a cisgender man is a bit high.
Yeah. There's going to be there's going to be a lot of overlap.
Yeah, so I think it's one of those things where it's like, no, you are cisgendered, but your experience and relationship of that is like, no, that's a case by case. It's like, will there ever be words about it? I don't fucking know.
Mm.
I don't fucking know. To be quite frank, I'm not hyper focused on that at the moment. So I have no idea. Maybe it will. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah. It just strikes me that your, I guess, born gender is a concept that is likely to get a slang term.
Oh, you mean other than just cis?
Yeah.
Well, because I guess, yeah, no, cis isn't slang. It's technically like the actual correct Latin-based etymology of
Right. Like it's gonna mutate a little bit, and I think people are gonna start referring to. There's gonna be a word, hopefully a snappy one, that will indicate that you're talking about a born gender rather than the gender you feel you are.
Black queer people in America are going to develop the word, whatever
Most
it is.
likely,
Yeah.
that's where it usually comes from.
You know, yeah.
Speaking of which, I didn't I had an idea what Riz was, but I didn't understand the etymology of the word.
Oh,
It comes from charisma.
yes.
I did not realize this.
Now you know.
Now I know. I was like, that guy's got Riz, and I'm like, from the context, it is clear what you mean, but the etymology is mysterious and strange
to me. I'm going to run screaming into the night now.
It'll happen to you.
You. No way, man. We're going to keep rocking on forever. 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 Forever.
Yeah.
I used to be with it, but then they changed what it was.
Now what it is, what I am, isn't it? And what it is seems strange and scary to me. It'll happen to you. And honestly, I'm
Don't feel
starting.
like dancing.
I've actually gotten to the point where I'm starting to get to the point where I am less concerned about Gen Z and Gen Alpha in terms of how they see me, because there are probably certain things that not only am I not going to change, probably can't be changed. So at that point, it's just one of those, look, I know at least a good percentage of you are 100% honest and earnest about whatever you're telling me. And I also know from experience that about 50% of you are just fronting. I know this. Anytime some sort of new thing happens, I'm like, oh no, I've been through this before. Some of you are real, but at least a good half of the people are just fronting.
It's almost as if you've been alive for several decades, Jack.
I have. I've been alive for 5 decades now, and I've learned a thing or two about a thing or two.
Jack, you have flown around the sun.
I have been around the sun 50 times. I have deliberately traversed the earth and gone back and forward through time because of international date lines, no less than 12 times.
And shrooms.
Well, that's not counting the shrooms. That's just
I know.
talking about the rotation of the earth.
And I was just
going.
Yeah, no. I was just no. When you think about, did you see the thing? Did you hear the sound bite that fucking the wait, what the fuck was the God, wait, no, someone had a really good nickname for Trump that was a play off the Manchurian cantaloupe.
The Manchurian cantaloupe?
Manchurian cantaloupe.
Oh yeah. Let's be honest with ourselves, man. Like,
Russia paid for that.
Right. I can't believe we're an unofficial part of the USSR, of the new USSR, and I can't believe that Britain is there with us.
Hey, if it makes you feel any better,
probably not.
EDM music's going to be baller as shit for a little while.
Hopefully we'll get something out of this. This is fucking insane.
But did you hear what he said about time zones?
What did he say about time zones?
I need you to... I'm not there to hold your hand physically and look into your eyes as I say this. But
okay.
But I need you to know that we're going to get through what I'm about to say together. We're going to get through this.
Okay.
He said, and I quote, time zones, it's got to go. I mean, no, daylight savings. He was talking about daylight savings. He was talking about daylight savings time. He was like, daylight savings, it's got to go. I mean, it makes no sense. I mean, think about it. The like old grandma lying in the home, dying. They turn the clocks ahead. What happened to grandma? She's dead. She died an hour faster. I'm not making this up. He said this. This is a thing that he said. Completely ignoring that that's not how anything works.
Right. But I'm also noticing something.
Mm-hmm.
The new colonization. The new colonization is, drumroll please, social media. It's X, it's Facebook, it's Instagram. That's the new colonization.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Well, yeah, when there's not enough, when we run out of land to colonize.
Yeah. We'll just start trying to colonize people's fucking minds directly.
You've been reading sci-fi and horror for the past like 30 years. You know this.
Yeah. I just never really thought of it in terms of colonization, but it is colonization. And I
New colonization method just dropped.
Yeah, the new colonization method just dropped in social media. Actually, it dropped like 10 years ago, but
Well,
like,
yeah.
but now it's becoming clear what it is and what the algorithm is actually for. You know,
You know,
I don't know how in the fuck to fight this other than to take back privacy. Don't put everything online. Don't. Just don't. You know, like we're gonna have to learn to do this. Like if like we're gonna have to bring back that sort of privacy that you had in your awkward teen years when you were fumbling around trying to figure out where your dick was. You know, like we're gonna have to take that back. You know, and just be like, no, ain't none of your goddamn business.
It's really interesting because, like, for instance, like you'll have conversations with people, right? And like, for instance, I like to bring up to other people that my my legal name and address is not attached to my Facebook account in any way, shape, or form. And people go, well, you can't do that. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can.
You just lie. You just make shit up.
Yeah.
But do you think that they're checking? They don't fucking check.
Yeah, also they can't.
No one.
No, not with the. I mean, they make them do the work. Make them do the work. You would be amazed at how much privacy you can fucking get for yourself if you just make people work for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like this is why older generations fucked in the back of cars. Know what I'm talking? Know what I mean? This is why old gay guys from the boomer generation fucked on trains.
See, now you're making me feel older than I am because I've done both.
Yeah, but I mean, you're like in your late 30s, right?
Mid, yeah. I'm about to be 35. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You know, to me, why would anyone put yourselves out there? Yeah, I'm Al Saddam, but you're also probably Gen Xer like me. Like, once you get in the habit of putting everything out there, it becomes a habit, and you just do it. And because we didn't because it was so new, we didn't really adjust, and that adjustment needed to be, hey, don't put everything out there. You know, because I think you're going to find that the people who have the least number of hangups about their cringe are the people who are like, yeah, these motherfuckers don't need to know that.
Oh my god, Foxifer in the chat bringing up like the people who like bitch about being blocked. I'm like, yeah, no, that's also stupid. Just like, why did you block me? Because I don't want to talk to you or see you.
I don't like you.
I don't want to acknowledge the fact that you exist. It's like, only bitches block people. Okay, I'm a bitch.
Yeah.
I don't, but I'm happy, so I don't see what the problem is.
Yeah, and here's another thing. Here's another thing people got to get used to. Not talking to someone for a week is not ghosting somebody. It isn't. Because that's about as often as I talked to people on the phone before smartphones. And these are like friends. These are like good friends. These are like people I trust. I talk to them on the phone about once every week or two.
I think it's that it's weird right now. I think the longest I go without texting someone is like 3 days.
No, it's a couple of weeks.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, it can be a couple of weeks.
My bad.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's just like I just figure you're busy.
Fair enough. it is weird. Like there are certain people
Yeah,
who
it's
like,
also why I don't fucking respond all the time.
no, that's
You
fair.
know?
It's really weird. Like I guess without like really thinking about it, I'm kind of curating my time frames of texting. Like for instance, I know that you're not gonna like really flip a shit about that, so that's fine. But then there's people who I know their understanding of texting etiquette is a lot more immediate.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so even if I'm not going to text them right away, I will just like shoot a quick pop off, like, "Hey, I'm kind of busy at the moment. Just want to let you know I haven't forgotten the fact that you're alive." you know. So I guess I do kind of like curate that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But and I think we need to get back to no, it's okay for you to like not talk to someone for an hour. You know, for an hour or a couple of days and still be friends, and people got to get used to that again because and I know we can get used to it because we were used to it. You know, we were very used to it. You know, like that's just how you assume. There's a reason we used to have answering machines and then voicemail after that because you would miss people. They would send you a thing and then you'd call them back later.
That's kind of the beauty about voice memos too, is I'm like they're just kind of there. They don't go away. They're just kind of there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I
You know, you don't notice that you haven't talked to someone until you go to talk to them and realize that their contact information is that date.
also something that I find very funny is there's a thing that I do that I didn't realize until recently was an ADHD symptom,
Yeah.
which is very funny in my opinion, which is it's referred to as having issues with emotional permanence as opposed to like object permanence. It's essentially the idea of like, all right, you know how like very young children have issues with object permanence and they have to develop that.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So apparently there's a thing amongst certain expressions of ADHD in which it's like you have a poor emotional permanence. It's basically what happens is you don't forget that the person exists. It's not amnesia of the person necessarily. It's when it's no longer directly like when it's no longer directly requiring your attention,
Yeah.
it tends to go on the back burner so you can focus on other shit to such a degree that like weeks may go by and someone texts you and they're like, "Hey, I haven't heard from you in a while," and then you just go, "Oh, oh shit, yeah, you haven't. I'm so."
Wait. I kind of didn't understand that last part.
Oh, so like because of this, what will happen is like sometimes you will go weeks without like texting, calling, or communicating with somebody,
Yeah.
and it can be like a very close friend, and they will text you after a while and go, "Hey, I never like heard back from you," or like just like whatever, and then you just kind of sit there and go, "Oh shit, I haven't like checked on you, talked to you, thought about you in a hot minute." Not intentional, just the way the brain went.
Yeah.
Appar-
Yeah.
yeah, apparently this is a common thing with ADHD people, and I'm like, that's
Oh, okay.
hilarious.
I didn't know that. Well, makes sense. I mean, I do that. You know.
What's object permanence? Object permanence is okay. So you know how like if you play peekaboo with a newborn, the minute they can't see your face, they actually think you're gone because they associate your face with you being there, and when they can no longer see it, it's not there anymore. That's object permanence. So apparently, this is essentially object permanence, but with emotional connections to people. It's it's not that it's not that you forget about them or don't care about them. It's that once they're not directly in front of you, it's why if you don't speak to someone on like a frequently scheduled basis with ADHD, the the chance of you accidentally just never talking to the person for like something ridiculous like a year is is higher. You know what I mean? It's like one of these things of like it kind of goes to the back burner so much that it's like, okay, and that's going to stay right here, and then the rest of the brain is going to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh cards. It's like it's like that kind of shit. And I find that very funny. I'm just like, oh, you mean I don't forget about the people, just my brain don't work?
Yeah. I think there's only I think there is I think ADHD people are very hypervigilance is very strange.
It is.
It's very strange because you become very aware of a lot of things that are in your immediate area, but you tend to forget about anything that's either going to happen in 2 minutes or that happened 5 minutes ago.
It's really weird for me to talk about hypervigilance because I have literally always been hypervigilant, or for a very long part of my life I have been.
Me too.
And and it's one of those things of like, oh, why are you so hyper vigilant? And I'm just like, well, for me, it's because queer. It's because very obviously queer. There, you see, you talk to any openly identifying LGBT person, they'll tell you it's like, oh no, in my head there is a societal eye on me at all times. It's like, why do gay people look so good? Because we constantly think we're being watched in a bad way.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's terrible.
For me, it's always a safety thing. Like, it's always a safety thing. For me, it was I couldn't trust the people around me. Couldn't trust my mom, couldn't trust my relatives. Or my mom's relatives, her side of the family, couldn't trust them, couldn't trust teachers, which couldn't trust the other students, couldn't trust nobody for anything. And so I had to be very, 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 very vigilant because every time I slipped up, something terrible happened. It does drive you batty when that much scrutiny has to be paid to everything and all kinds of shit. So, yeah, gee, I wonder why I had trouble paying attention in class, kind of thing. Gotta be. One of the things that I think is really upsetting is right now we're all being bullied. Right now we are all being bullied like we were in school. By a big fat orange man with a bad comb over.
And it's really weird because we have, I think, at least in areas like where I live, we've done a pretty decent job societally of looking at previous existing bully culture and going, nah, fuck that. And then all of a sudden, to be bullied again, but by the Manchurian Cantaloupe, is it's one of these things where it's like, well, this is familiar, and not in a good way. I hate this.
Correct.
I'm going to punch that man in the face.
Yeah. And in the modern world, it comes down to, I believe the only way to get rid of bullies is to get rid of them. Because this is also where reclaiming privacy kind of comes back in, because they have access to you because everyone does. This is why the block button is such an important thing. No,
it's
just do the block button. Just do like fucking social media judo. I can only pay attention to so many people at once on social media anyway, so fuck it. Blocked. fuck it, block. I don't need to be paying attention to this crap. I got bigger titties to lick right here.
Me.
You know, like, I got things to do. You know, I don't need this.
Take a ride on the Fantastic Voyage, Sodom and Gonorrhea.
Yeah. Just, holy crap, I got shit to do. But of course, when it's president, you can't ignore it. It's the president, can't ignore it. And I don't know how to say it. Look, you got to understand your church, your fucking Republican Party. No, they want a bully in charge. They want a bully in charge. That's what they want. They want a bully in charge to fucking bully you. That's what they wanted.
Well, yeah, because at the end of the day, all of them want to be like really horribly punished by Sky Daddy.
They want to be horribly punished by Sky Daddy, or they get off on watching other people get punished by Sky Daddy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so fuck them. Fuck them right in the ear. Withhold your donations. Fuck your tithe. Take that money back. You probably need it anyway.
You take that money back and you go get a whore. You go to the whorehouse.
Yeah, you go to the whorehouse and get some real fucking divine absolution. You know, like, get it for real. You know, holy crud. I was actually thinking about this the other day. You know, they had to get rid of goddesses because you might actually get something that you're looking for.
Shit might get done.
Shit might get done. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Oh no, but then we'll be weak and won't be able to fight in wars. Bullshit. Fucking bullshit.
Hi, these are the Ashante warriors. Let me tell you their story.
Yeah. Fucking bullshit. Like, that got nothing to do with defense. Oh, well, we gotta defend. Oh, we gotta defend. Oh, woof, 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 woof. Ah, shut up. Like, you look at the advice like young guys are got, and you wonder why they're all angry and fucking like hate women. Well, no shit. The whole society's fucking designed to do that. Why? Oh, so we could have soldiers. But wait, that doesn't have anything to do with the effectiveness of soldiers. You're right.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Stop
Is
pointing it out.
their answer. Shut up. Think this is working great for me. I don't see any reason to change. Any change is scary to me. This should be the way it is. It must be the way it is. Look at my big bank account.
And my furrows of worry.
Furrows of worry. This must be real.
We got a lot invested in this ride.
Yeah. Got a lot invested in this fucking bullshit. You know, and I'm just like, oh, son of a bitch. Like, tariffs, great fucking example. What's the point of that?
Well, there was a point. Is there a point?
Let's find a point. The point is, Daddy Trump did a duty on himself, got mad that everyone fucking called him out for fucking having a duty on himself, threw a temper tantrum, and then made things worse.
It's real weird because, like, okay.
And I want to point out I was right because I love doing that. I was right. And what was I right about? China didn't have to do shit. It looked at America and go, well, we'll raise you. And then America blinked. And they were like, well, we're going to tariff you after all. And China's like, okay, we're not going to respond. Why aren't you going to retaliate? Well, we don't have to.
Because America, we sell to everybody.
We don't just sell to you anymore. I don't know if you noticed this, but we started selling to the rest of the world. You are now 3% of everything that we sell to. We don't need you anymore.
It's okay.
How much do you import from us? Oh, who need who, round eye?
It's okay. So this is what I find it's it's one of these things where I know, there are a lot of people who are like, oh yeah, no, he totally understood what the tariffs were gonna do. He was just trying to like do like some weird shady shit, blah blah blah. I'm just like, I'm not entirely convinced of that.
No, he had no idea.
I am it
Guy's
like
got an IQ of sperm.
I do love how every time I see him, he looks more sickly than he did the previous time.
Yeah. I hope he just drops dead in the middle of one of these, whatever the fuck you call them that he does. I want to just drop dead and there to be a comedic pause before he explosively shits out his pants.
Dude, did Cartman just crap treasure?
Crap treasure? Yeah. Yeah, I want to just rip out the back of his pants, come out in a big brown fucking spray on live television.
You know what's amazing is like for all the shit that I can say about South Park, especially in the later years, that shit joke is actually the only shit joke that legitimately makes me laugh to this day.
Did Cartman just crap treasure?
Yeah, the whole thing of like, I just need to find the bathroom. I just need to find the bathroom. No, there's just something about the way it's animated, the silent shock on everybody else's face, the fact that any and all music just stops for it.
And the fact that Kyle going, dude, did Cartman just crap treasure?
Yeah, there's just something about that where I'm like, no, that is the perfect shit joke. It is.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever laugh that hard at poo ever again. Now, luckily, anytime I watch it, even now, I still laugh that hard. But nothing else will ever elicit that response.
It is kind of a great moment. But as far as South Park is concerned, to me, no episode is greater than Free Will's Yak. That to me is the perfect South Park episode.
Just ends with just quiet dead whale on moon. It's so good.
Like, I knew we were getting something special when Kyle is like, the whale talked to me at the fucking SeaWorld. And all the other kids are like, oh my God, me too. I'm like, okay, we're in for a wild ride.
That's why you always let stoners with intercoms fuck with children. You always let that happen.
Yeah. It wasn't that funny. Don't say that. It was funny.
It was funny.
It'll be funny again.
Just by the way, that's one of those fun ones where like you dissect it and it's like, oh, the episode is literally about beating a dead horse.
Yeah. Like it's like, how far can we take this really dumb joke? And the answer is
Yogi,
all the way.
It's like, no. You can write a joke so fast and so hard that it comes around again to being completely, perfectly, beautifully funny. But you have to go through a lot of shit to get there, and one wrong move, you just fuck the whole thing.
Yeah. At any moment, that whole thing could have fallen apart. Oh, man.
Counter argument, Yogi. Bono.
Well, that was a good one.
Oh no, it was good. It was good. I still laugh like quite audibly at lot of PF Chang's.
How you feeling, Dad? Yeah. Feel pretty good.
Your trophy picks up like the fucking Emmy from the fucking screen. Don't get me wrong, I laugh quite hard at that one, but there's something about the Cartman crapping treasure one that just tickles my specific
I know what you
bone
mean. I know what you
so
mean.
much.
There's something about that bit, you know?
You know, it's fucking crazy. Just Jackson Wolfbane, it's a Yogi. Hey Jackson.
Hey. By the way, John is also in the chat.
Yes, John is in the chat. I love both these bitches. I love all you bitches.
Greetings,
yeah,
all
no.
You good bitches.
Dost thou wish for a duel, my good bitch? I want to challenge someone like that once. I truly do. I truly do. But I have to have like a massive breastplate because there's something about like big. No. There's something about big titty women with swords. That's just.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. There definitely is. Oh man, speaking of drag queen shit, I saw something very sad but insightful. Came from two drag queens.
Okay.
It's okay. So they're dragging around, and the subject of like terrible guys comes up. And one of the drag queens goes like, "Oh wait, I think they're talking about straight guys." Like we were they were talking about like bad lays that they had. And all of a sudden, oh no, this person's not talking about this. This person's talking about dating straight guys, not dating gay guys. And so they quickly, they quickly like refocus. And they go like, wait. Why would a guy do that? And the other drag queen goes, well, it's because they don't have any close friends. Like, deadpan sober.
Oh, you were watching Trixie and Katya.
Yes,
watch that
yes,
shit. Yeah.
It was, and like this was like
true.
An epiphanical moment for me. If epiphanical is a word, I don't think it is. But it was that just the very sober,
Epiphanic?
very
Epiphanic.
I don't know, but just that. Oh, they don't have friends, and the other one's like, what? Yeah, no, they don't have a lot of friends. They have no friends to talk to.
So their girlfriend becomes their.
So their girlfriend becomes the everything
thing. Yep.
And they're like, oh my God, that's so sad.
It's why they get. It's part of. It's not the only reason why, but it's a part of the reason why they get so possessive of women. Because once they've got one, because you can have a person apparently,
right?
But once they've got one, it's one of these things of like, oh no, this really is like the only person. So I need to guard this as jealousy as Smeagol does the Ring. And it leads to bizarre shit.
Yeah. But it was one of those things where like I talk shit about the male loneliness epidemic, but like it seems to be a real thing.
It is, and it's really weird because, like, for instance, the only straight men who have ever stood a chance with me are straight men who actually like are self-actualized and emotionally stable and therefore have circles of friends.
Right.
It's very it's very weird. It's really weird when you acquire straight male friends that are not toxic and problematic in this way, because then it really makes you realize how many of them are.
Yeah.
And it's very weird.
Yeah. It is really weird. Like the funny thing is that back in the day, this kind of thing was unheard of. Like, because back in the day, if you didn't have any friends, back in the day, meaning like the 90s, back in the 80s and 90s, if you didn't have any friends, you were either heavily ostracized or there was a fucking reason.
Yeah, no, like, do you remember like the sitcom trope used to be, oh, he spends all his time with his friends and none at home with me?
Yeah,
that used to be the trope.
That used to be the trope.
Yeah.
That used to be the joke because that was so common. Now it's like, oh, okay, guys have no friends. Wait, when did this flip? When did this motherfucking flip? And it has to be sometime at some period in the social media age. It has to be, because like before Facebook, I had never that it just was not a thing. It just wasn't. You know, unless you had real problems, like, oh my God, how does your mother love you kind of problems. Like, you had a lot of friends. You at least had people who tolerated your immediate presence. You know, that was easy to find. Like, that was kind of a given even. Like, every vampire LARP had that one guy that everyone was like, well, we don't want to be mean, but like, God damn it, don't make me roleplay with that guy. But he's still allowed to be there.
You're just like, eh.
Yeah, you're just sort of like, but he's still allowed to be there. He's still part of the group. Something fucking happened in the social media age, and it might be social media itself, it might be a byproduct of it, that caused that to stop being the case. You know, but the older I've gotten, the more I've realized, no, you need people, in order to have a healthy social group, you need people at all levels of status in that group. Including the status of the guy who only comes by occasionally.
Yes.
You know, you need that person. You know, you need the girl that just tries to sleep around with the entire friend group. You need that person.
How dare you?
You know, like, you need them. You know, you don't need all the personality types, but you need like a good cross section of them. And I also think, part of it is that we've never been able to curate something that we called friends. We'd never been able to curate that before. Like, who showed up, showed up. And unless you were willing to go to the extent of physically ejecting them, you lived with it.
And over time, you got used to them.
Yeah, and over time, you got used to them. As long as they didn't cross the line, everything was like, okay. You know? But now, I think, you know, it might actually be as simple as the fact that Facebook called the people you know on Facebook friends, and that was a linguistic trap. Because now you kind of associate the word friends with that, particularly if that's what you grew up with. Like, to me, a friend is somebody who listens to you and potentially will help you in a fist fight.
A good friend will pick up the phone at 3 a.m. and bring bail money down to the jail where you are.
Yes.
A great friend will be sitting on the bench next to you going, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, when you get and when you get advice from Podcast Manosphere guys, no wonder you don't have any friends. Yeah. Because if everyone's listening to the biggest douchebag in the fucking group, do you know what happens? The group flies apart. It always happens. Once the biggest douchebag comes in charge, everything falls apart.
We used to have our skeletons in the closet, and only a few
Oh,
people in New
Flashman's
York
right.
knew this,
Tom would
but
not have
now
let
it's a
have
catalog
not have
in
fucked
public.
this up. Just saying.
No, not like this. Not like this. Like, hey, I miss them top 8 spaces sometimes.
You could rotate people around in them.
Yeah, you could rotate people around in them. You could, like, you know, not everyone who followed you was a friend.
The absolute drama of, what do you mean I'm not in your top 8 anymore?
God, Jessica.
Becky!
Becky, oh my God. Yeah. Well, like, you didn't. Let me put it this way. Ride or die. That used to mean extra. What a lot of people think is ride or die now is just what I called friends.
Yeah.
Like, ride or die used to mean like, yeah, I came strapped.
Yeah, the ride or die is someone who goes, cool. Are there
Cool.
shovels in the trunk?
The shovels in the trunk, who we killing? You know, like, what do we got to do? You know, what are we doing? You know, like, although I did love this one comedian who said, like, white women are the exact opposite of ride or die. We are ride and then flee at the first sign of trouble. Man.
That's too
I
funny.
also did learn something from studies on dating sites.
Okay.
All right. So it is studies on dating sites, and this is an older study, but it's probably still true, if you know what I mean. And they broke it down by gender and ethnic identity.
Okay.
And they were like, okay, blonde women get 80% of all replies. Period. They respond, but they respond to less than 1% of those. Black women make up only 10% of all replies, but they respond to all of them. So black women are 99% more likely to at least respond. The article that reported on the study said, so apparently black girls are the unsung sweethearts of the internet.
Well, are they kind of the unsung sweethearts of life, though?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I could agree with that.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All my melanated queens, I love you. You're amazing.
Oh, but like, no, it actually makes a huge, it actually does make sense. It's also interesting going, oh, all the times any time that I get hit on by a woman, usually not white, either Latino or black.
I get hit on by a lot of black and Arab men.
Well,
like a lot.
I'm sure gay culture is the breakdown's a little different.
Oh yeah, no. It probably is. It's still interesting, like the way the demographics work, though.
Yeah. You know, but yeah, it is interesting. Most white break can't handle sisters. Oh, no, exactly. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. It flies in the face of everything. You know?
Look, we were told very early on, okay, that she don't want no scrub. Scrub is the kind of guy can't get no love from her. Hanging out of the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holla. You know, absolutely.
Okay, but I will say this from experience, that's wish fulfillment.
Oh,
that's what I've seen. Plenty of fucking girls with, you know, really, really pretty girls hanging out with scrubs.
Yeah.
You know, I've
I have a
some of
very
those scrubs have been very good friends, and I've been like, hey, like, don't get me wrong, God's my friend and all, but like, he's kind of a scrub.
a busta, if you will.
Yeah.
um, to use the etymology of the time.
Which was the style at the time.
At the time. But no, I will admit it's really funny because I have a very strenuous criteria for men. Do you want to hear what it is?
Go for it.
Okay. It's very strenuous. It's very strict. You have to have a job and know how to wash yourself. And the amount of people not clearing that extremely low bar is distressing.
Yeah, counter argument. Those were pretty girls, but they weren't TLC. Well, I mean, like, very okay. So you're saying TLC themselves would not, and he doesn't mean the Learning Channel. He means the singing group.
Hey man, don't go chasing waterfalls.
Don't go chasing waterfalls. Stick to the rivers and streams that you
used to. It's like I love it. Someone's like, yeah, that's reasonable. Yes, it is reasonable, isn't it? And you'd be surprised how many people don't clear that very reasonable bar. It's very distressing. It makes me go, should I just be a nun? I'd be terrible at it, but
the bare minimum should be proper showering. What do you consider proper showering?
Oh, me personally?
Yeah. Well, in someone you're dating. Because I know that you have a strict cleaning regimen.
You gotta wash your fucking legs. You gotta wash your legs.
To what degree?
Jack, do you know that? Okay.
This is my question. I'm like, wait, to what degree? I mean,
okay. Are you aware of this? That there are. It's mainly white people. Okay. But there are people who they go, no, I'll just use the washcloth or the loofah or whatever on the top half of my body, and the water and soap run down the legs, so that washes the legs, right? And I'm just like, you still have skin there. You have to scrub the dead skin and dirt away. That's not how that works.
Okay.
There are people who are out here not washing their legs or their feet, and I'm like, that's disgusting.
Okay, gotcha.
Don't do that.
Gotcha.
I'm like, you gotta wash your legs. You gotta wash your ass.
Yeah.
Gotta wash your legs. You gotta wash your ass. Wash your junk. Don't.
Oh God, who doesn't want to? Who doesn't do that?
From what I hear, it's straight men. From what I hear from like straight women, it's some straight men, and I'm just like, that's disgusting.
I can't not do that.
Like, queer male dick is immaculate. Queer dick is immaculate. That zipper goes down. Oh, I love going to church. But I love Victor in the chat just going, ugh.
Ugh. Yeah. Because I'm like thinking about this as well. I'm like, I could see skipping leg day. I can't see skipping junk ever.
Yeah, but apparently it gets musty. Apparently
it does. That's why you wash it.
No. Oh no. I mean, there are men out there who allow it to get musty and don't.
Was a girl into that? Because some women are into that.
Apparently it has nothing to do with the women's choice. It has everything to do with who. Is everything to do with like, oh, why are you asking me to do shit?
What? But don't you jerk off? You don't want to jerk off with dirty dick all the time. This is gross.
A lot of these people are gross, though.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, like, they haven't even mastered the 4 key areas. Asshole, armpits, crotch, and teeth.
It's weird,
You
man.
know,
It's fucking...
I get having problems, but I don't get not doing it.
Dear masculine men of any and all varieties, I need you to start washing everything, and I also need you to take your Axe body spray can
Oh, God.
and throw it away. Stop it. Don't use that. You smell like shit. It's not good. That's all I'm saying. The closest male body spray that's like passable is Old Spice. That's it.
Yeah.
That is literally it. And not all of it is good. There's a few key ones that are really...
Yeah, don't
really
forget
good.
behind the ears either. Ew. That's how I know when I need to take a shower. How the back of my ears doing? How are they feeling?
The answer is anything but squeaky clean. Time to hop in.
Time to hop in the shower. Yeah. It stays like this and make me scratch my head and wonder why I'm straight. Oh, because that's the way you were made. I believe we essentially come out with our sexual orientation hardwired in.
Flashman, you are a rare and beautiful flower in an otherwise thorny garden.
Yeah. Jack, that's gross. Yeah, I know it's gross.
Jack, that's gross.
I know that's gross. My ears feel grody. Well, I know what time it is.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, I don't even get to that point because there's like an internal timer I have. If I go over a certain number of hours without showering, I feel the immediate urge to peel my skin off. Like I'm just like, no. This needs to stop now. This needs to,
You know what I wish I had?
Mm.
I wish I had a shower with a seat.
Like built in?
Yeah, like built in, because any other is going to slide around. Because it's really easy to scrub my legs sitting down, but it's really hard to clean my legs bent over.
See, I respect that. That's a genuine concern with you going, no, I want to be able to do this. But
my center of gravity is not all that great, you know. I think I actually have like a bit of vertigo.
See, this is what's great about the fact that what's great about like the fact that this used to be my grandparents' house is because my shower, which is large, I don't have a bathtub. It's one of those where it's like the flat floor showers.
Right.
Inside's like all nice and tiled, but there are 2 handlebars built into like metal handlebars built into the wall because used to be an old person's house. What's great about that is I can literally just put the one hand there and be like, okay, cool, we're lifting the one leg,
right,
and then we're lifting the other leg.
Yeah, but I have been in a shower that had one of those stoops, that you sit on.
Changed your life. Changes
your life. You're like, why aren't they all built like this?
This seems stupid.
Yeah, it seems dumb that we don't do this, I see someone with a walk-in shower, with a walk-in tub. That's pretty boss.
Oh, the one where you open the little door?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I've seen that and I'm just like, I know this is for senior citizens with mobility issues, but my lazy ass wants that.
Dude, it should just be for everybody because it's like it's literally bathing in a hot tub.
Yeah.
You know, which you're like, wait, this is way easier. Like, this is way better.
You see, what I like about like the flat floor shower though
Mm-hmm.
is I can just sit crisscross applesauce directly under warm water.
Yeah, mine's not big enough to do that.
I love fucking doing
I,
that.
I can't do that. It's not wide enough. You know, it's
Fair.
you know, in either direction. Well, it's also weird to be doing that lengthwise. You know, I probably could do it lengthwise, but like that feels wrong.
Again, I do that lengthwise, but again, because it's like a flat surface, you don't really know. You know what I mean? Like it's like
Yeah,
it's-
yeah, exactly. I think all showers and bathtubs should just come with that seat. You know, I
Mhm.
think that it's like a bidet. Once you've used it, you're like, why are we doing it any other way? You know?
First time you use a bidet fucking changes your life.
Yeah. Well, it's like taking a shit in Japan. Like you go to the bathroom in Japan, your life is transformed. You're like, wait, why are we doing wait, why are they so much more advanced in shitting technology?
They're advanced and they're so much more advanced in so much other shit.
Yeah. Just like it's weird because it's like this looks like technology designed for people.
Do you know? Do you know that in Japan there are many stores and public places that have this machine by the door, which is if you've come in from the and it's raining outside, you can step one foot then the other, and it fucking vacuum seals your shoes in a rough
Yes,
plastic.
I've seen them.
And I'm just like, that's amazing.
I know, right?
Why
You
is-
know,
why
they
is-
have washer dryers specifically for shoes. For your shoes. And they're just like, it takes about a half hour. And I'm like,
there are
what?
certain there are certain coffee houses and cafes in Japan where they don't use disposable paper cups. What they will use is it's like a little cup that's essentially made out of a cookie or biscuit like material with like a chocolate lining inside.
Yeah, I've seen those too.
And then you just fucking eat the
Yeah,
cup
you just
afterwards.
eat the cup afterwards. Yeah.
The first time I saw that, I'm like, what's this Willy Wonka shit and why the fuck don't I have it?
I
It's
know.
bullshit.
It's one of those weird things where like it's like Americans need things to be hard, and I don't know why. You know?
Because if it's hard, then we get to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. Oh, fuck
shit.
you.
Fuck you. Like,
Oh,
no,
fuck
I want
you.
a singing toilet. Are you fucking kidding me? I want a toilet that fucking sanitizes itself. Who doesn't fucking want that? I don't have to fucking clean the toilet. The toilet cleans itself.
I want the toilet to speak to me in a gentle, loving tone as it plays music while I shit.
Yes.
I want that. I really, really want that.
Yeah. Like I am. Look, I've been all around this great big world of ours, and there are some things I just don't understand why we don't have them. And the self-cleaning toilet is one of them. It really is, because who wants to do that job? Nobody wants to do that.
I mean, John's right. It's Puritanism.
Yeah.
It's that puritanical work ethic.
If I'm not suffering, then I'm not living. And you're like, there's a Buddha mind in me that's like, well, that is true, but I think you got it backwards.
But not the way that you mean it.
Yeah, I think you got it backwards. Suffering is inevitable, you know, or rather, pain is inevitable, you know. But why are you making your life harder? That seems dumb.
It's so weird to me because, like, okay, I want to say this to everyone who is even slightly considering like getting into like the manosphere or fucking alpha male shit or anything like that. I really need you to stop and really need you to think. Don't you want to be a pillow princess deep down? It's so much nicer.
Do you know what other countries have? They have mammogram machines that keeps the plate at room temperature.
Mm-hmm.
That.
And they're lined.
Yep.
And if you were to pay out of pocket for them for a mammogram in those countries, it would cost you about 25 US dollars.
Yep.
It's insane.
Yep. Because they're just like, well, I mean, people got to live, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing that I think is so funny, this is the thing I think is so funny. Like, Americans will immediately turn to like, well, yeah, but like, you know, the strongest should live and blah, 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 blah. Our population density is so much lower in comparison to those places. Lower.
Yep.
You could, in fact, make people a lot more comfortable.
You know, it's really weird. Let me tell you this. It's really fucking weird. It's almost as if you put a really large dent in things like homelessness and you provide healthcare, both physical and mental, and you have a society that's built around communalistic ideals, it's almost as if people in general tend to fucking live longer. And also, there are more of them because there's less of them fucking dying in the street. It's almost as if that's a reality.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, but they say strongest, but what they mean is wealthy and can afford to survive. Yeah, exactly, Horguru. Exactly.
I'm the strongest boy. Really?
Really? Are you? Because you look like a piece of shit.
It's like, really? Because I've got a driver right here in my hand, and you physically the only thing standing in between me and your money. So I gotta ask you, who's stronger? You or the titanium?
Yeah.
Taste the chrome.
Taste the chrome. I am keeping the graphics. But it's absolutely crazy. And I couldn't believe that I heard manosphere garbage repeat in a dentist office from a 10-year-old. Now, it was manosphere garbage about the Nintendo Switch 2. It wasn't about women or anything, but I knew where the talking point had come from. You know, the whole like, oh, what does Nintendo think we are, made of money? And I'm like, no, that's the tariffs, bitch. That's the tariffs. That is the tariffs that are doing that. It's not Nintendo.
The amount of, if you go onto certain parts of social media, something that you will see quite often is a bunch of young, sometimes underage, mediocre straight white men flexing like this with fucking pro-Trump text on their video, and that's all that's going on. And I just kind of sit there and I go, you weren't beat enough as a child, were you? Because I feel you should have been. Because I want to hit you now.
The $450 price is pre-tariffs. Yeah, well, that ain't the price no more.
Hi, you can have this for a kidney.
Yeah. You know, it's also getting insane. One of the things that, like, I don't know how to say this, but $70 is about what the customer will pay for a AAA game. That's the upper end.
Yeah.
They have been trying to go over this for over 15 years, and they have not been. And the reason they haven't done it is it doesn't work, because every time they try to, customers get super angry. They get super angry. Now, of course, the customer would rather it was down to like 60 or 50. You know, that's where they would prefer to have it. But the upper limit seems to be 70. And for $70, you got to give a lot. You have to give a lot. You know, yeah, 80 for people weren't willing to pay $80 for Mario Kart. They were probably willing to pay 60.
Stretching it, but I'd pay 60.
Yeah. Like, and this is kind of what I mean. But let me give you a counter example. A couple of counter examples. One. So I just bought South of Midnight, right? That was $40. It's a AAA style game.
Okay.
It cost me $40.
Yes.
And it makes you go, well, in the economy of scale, why can't the actual AAA companies fucking charge only $40?
Oh, because it's all bullshit.
Oh, yeah. It's, well, there are two reasons, actually. One is it's all bullshit. The other one, which is potentially legitimate, is budgets blew up. Now, sometimes budgets blow up for legitimate reasons. And a legitimate reason to me is like, yeah, this creeped up on us. Sometimes it's an illegitimate reason, and it's like, well, we're trying to pay for it. We're trying to make the balance sheet look good. Yeah, that's not a legitimate reason. That ain't legit.
We're just trying to make the balance sheet look good. Like, but if you report these as the official numbers, it affects the thing.
Yeah.
What?
No. Like, you know, and all that shit. Okay, the other thing is the other great counterexample is Baldur's Gate 3, which was $60.
And so horny.
And so insanely horny. And it's still for the last 2 years, it is sat at the top 10. It is sat at the top 10, not of critical acclaim, but of sales. No video game has ever done that before. That has never, ever, ever, ever happened. 2 consistent years of sales in the top 10, that feels like an act of God, is in terms of like, in terms of everything. You know, like I didn't even know that this was true until the other day when I looked it up because of something someone said. And I was like, oh my God, it's been in the top 10 ever since it fucking launched. And that was over 2 years ago.
Oh, hold up, because Periagus asked in the chat, is that a stuffed goat? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Stuffed goat. This is a white one. I got another one over there. That's a black one.
Yeah. Not even GTA 5. Correct. Not even GTA 5. Not for that long. Because we're not talking about player base. We're talking about sales only.
Right.
You know, like, basically, Baldur's Gate 3 hasn't stopped selling. And it is a 2-year-old game. That doesn't happen. Not for that long. You know, if there is another exception to that, it probably would be a GTA. You know, which tells you how rare it is. But the thing that freaks everyone out about Baldur's Gate doing that well is it is absolutely the type of game that they always said would always fail.
No, that's a fair assessment.
Yeah. But it was wrong. And not only has it sold really well, it sold for a reasonable price, but it was sold for $60, which is high. But clearly people think that they're getting $60 worth of value.
It's one of those wild things where like where like it just like we were completely wrong. Yeah, it's almost as if you people in charge of the thing don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, because finance determines too much. Um the finance sector determines too much. This is why in many ways you're not always getting what you want. Because there's someone who's there to make sure that you're not getting everything that you want. It's like kind of their job. It's weird, but it's kind of their job, but like that's not an official part of the title. It just seems to be an inevitable consequence of certain ways of doing things.
Fucking crazy.
But nothing succeeds like success. Nothing fails like failure, and nothing succeeds like success. And it's in an entertainment that is very, 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 very hard to control. It's impossible to control, actually.
I do have to interject for just a moment, which is so remember how before we started the stream I told you I wasn't feeling that great?
Yes.
I'm starting to feel worse.
Oh no.
No. It's nobody's fault. It's just one of those things where I'm like, yeah, me sustaining a conversation and being propped up is now becoming a challenge.
Oh no. Oh shit. Well, we've been going on for like 2 hours. We could probably stop here.
Again, I have like the next 10 days off. This is going to pass, so I am open for the next 10 days when it comes to shit.
Okay. Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
No problem. So I guess we'll start to sign off here. Unless John wants to come on for like an hour or something.
I don't know if he like I know
Yeah, I know he has
work.
to go to
Yeah.
work. He has to go to work
Yeah.
tomorrow, but like, so we'll see if he like changes his mind or something. But I will absolutely let you go for now. Thank you for coming on, man.
Dude, of course. I love coming on here with y'all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I will see y'all later, everybody.
All right. Good night, yo. You get better.
Thank you, man.
No problem. Oh, geez. Oh, geez. All right. Let's just let's see where John's at. Good Lord. But yeah. Baldur's Gate 3 beat Diablo 4. It beat a lot of things. And there were a lot of obvious reasons for it. One, the Baldur's Gate name. Two, the D&D name. Oh, I'm feeling fine, Although I probably why don't I take a brief break and I'll be right back because I could use a little freshening up, if you know what I mean. So I shall return. Okay, it looks like John is not with us, so we shall just soldier on. We'll soldier on for a little bit. Ah. Yeah. It is like really, yeah, Hasbro really caved to the conservative crowd. And I think that was a giant mistake because the more I look at it, the more I'm starting to think, you know what? I have been under the impression that the election was stolen. But with that said, I don't think we're going to do anything about it. I think they just information warred the election. I think they just information warred the election. You know, like they did something and they got away with it. And they will get away with it. They'll continue to get away with it. Corporate America is going to kiss the ringworm. Oh, yeah. No, it absolutely fucking did. It absolutely fucking did. This is the shape of things to come. We are going to be like East Berlin. You know, with social media essentially being the Stasi or the Gestapo. You know, that's how it's going to work. That's how it's going to work. Yep, and brought to you by Russia because they didn't like us. Or rather, because Putin didn't like us. You know, like things have gotten worse. There's just no way around it. Things have gotten worse. You know, it's upsetting. It's very upsetting. I don't like it. I'm betting you don't like it either. You know, and I stand by what I said. Like we have to decenter politics. We got no choice. Because right now, if we continue to let politics be as center as it has been, we're just going to drive ourselves crazy. Like we're going to literally lose our minds. You know, we have to back off. But that means that they're going to win. They have won. Let's just admit that. They won. You know, they won. Ignorant, conservative, pro-Trump Christianity won. It won very handily. Now, they still cheated. But what are we going to do about it? No one's going to save us but ourselves. Hopefully. But in order to do that, we got to be able to get real with ourselves. And in order to get real with ourselves, we have to stop caring. We have to care less about what the polis thinks. Hence, decentering politics. You know, we centered politics in everything online. Would you say that went in a good direction? I would say it went in a terrible direction. But can they handle their victory? Well, we'll find out. We'll see. Yeah, it may not be from the U.S., but I can tell you this: it won't last. Oh, no. I know it won't last. I know it won't last. It can't last forever. Like, it simply can't. But the question is, how long can this be drawn out? The purpose of decentering politics here is not to ignore politics altogether, but to keep from being so exhausted. We need a little bit more of not giving a fuck. And not giving a fuck is different from lack of empathy. It's actually quite different. But it is what makes it so difficult. Like if you're an naturally caring person, not giving a fuck is hard. But you gotta do it. There gotta be some things where you're like, don't care. Like other people's opinions. Don't care. I'm still very upset that all of the debate bros turned out to be such grifters. And I hope that more and more people open their eyes to that. As far as what to do about the young men of the current generation, I got no fucking clue. I didn't come up in the same environment. I came up in an environment, while I didn't get everything I wanted, I got everything I needed. All of my any relationship that had time to be considered a relationship lasted at least 2 years. There are plenty of false starts. When 2 weeks it was just like, yeah, no, this isn't working. For one reason or another, right? Either they didn't want to continue or I didn't want to continue. There was enough sex to go around. Even in the 90s, even at the height of the AIDS scare, there was sex to go around. There was still enough to go around. Now it's like, no, it's not enough to go around. And that is entirely due to misogyny. It's entirely due to that. Women choosing the bear in the woods over the man in the woods may not be logical, but it is how they feel. That should tell you something. Yeah, the women are stupid. Then you have learned the wrong lesson. The real lesson is, no matter how you feel about that judgment, that is how they feel. And it's not like they didn't tell you why they felt that way. Yeah, by the way, you're not going to be the man in the woods. You're going to be the man in mama's basement. So, let's get real. They're not afraid of you because you're not going to be in no woods. Oh. Yeah, the politics of everything did kind of suck all the joy out of things. Yeah, don't it just? Don't it just? That's why it can't be the center of everything. It's why it can't be the center of your life. Like, unless politics is your joy, at which point, I'm not sure how I feel about hanging around you. It's going to suck the joy out of everything, you know? Because at bottom, politics is everyone screaming about how everybody else ought to live. That's what it is at bottom. That's no fun. Yeah, but the bear will kill you. Maybe. Yeah. You know, but like, women are more often killed by a random man they meet in the woods than a random bear. You know, and they know that. Yeah. During the Obama years, like, things were going in a relatively decent direction. You know, not ideal, but it was definitely good. You know, it felt like a positive. It felt like it was a positive over what we had before. Yeah, black bear scares easy. Brown bear is the big fucker. It's a bit, you know, before you get to the grizzly. Then you get to the grizzly, it's like all bets are off. Yeah, bear ain't gonna assault them, humiliate them, or abuse them. Might kill them. You know? You know? But like, what did you think the effect? But that also relates to the effect of social media. That also affects the yeah. That's also reflective of the effect of social media, because ask any woman on the internet. All them comment sections. Get raped, bitch. You know, die. Your fucking forehead's funny. You know, nothing but that. You think that don't affect perception? Of course it affects perception. Because they're like, I wasn't even doing anything. I was just like, hey, everybody, you know, my name's Allison or something. You know, like, I hope you get raped, bitch. How dare you? You know, like, whoa. Fucking calm down. Take it easy. Yeah, Death of Democracy brought on by incels being pissy and Neo Sarkeesian. Yeah. Like, that whole Gamergate thing was, like, it's still going on. Like, it's still basically going on, and I think it must be hitting close to its apex, because I don't think that it can last much longer. You know, like, we've got to be able to fucking come together again somehow. You know, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, we're really gonna go, you know, then again, yeah, we could go back into dark ages. We could go back to dark ages. You know, America really could, like, get rid of women's rights, just entirely. It really could. It really could. It's not like they're not trying. Well, you think it's going to be easier to get laid during that period of time? No, you weren't thinking that far. No, they weren't thinking that far. They were just thinking of punishing the thing that they're angry at. You know, and it does go that far. It really does go that far. I don't know what to do about that. I don't know what to do about that, and just except be like, I don't know what to tell you, fucking creepo, you incel creepo. I don't know why we give you any power. I don't know why you have any power. Because you seem to be like, a dead end. That seems like a dead end. Nina Sarkeesian turned incel anger into money, and I respect that. Well, it's not really how it went down. Like, she didn't do that on purpose. Yeah, getting therapy would help. I mean, I'll give Gamergate this. And the new Sarkeesian was easy to hate. She's very easy to hate. Even if you had no problems with women, it was very easy to hate her. Passive aggressive bullying is still bullying. How long can MAGA milk the angry man child? Oh, as long as there are man children. No idea why Zoe Quinn got so much hate, though. Yeah. That's actually the more interesting case. Because she was essentially minding her own business. Yeah, Zoe Quinn was minding her own business. Now, and it didn't help that, like, well, let me not get into that. But, like, Zoe Quinn was minding her business and was the actual focus of the smear. It was one of the focuses of the smear campaign. But she was just random girl on internet. Yeah, she had done a few things that were noteworthy, but nothing that was big news. Nothing that explained the amount of hate that she got, unless you realize that the people who hated on her existed entirely within the bubble of video game journalism and its audience, which was very small. It's very small, or at least it was. That is a small pool. So there were a lot of people that in that pool that hated her just because she was a girl. And they thought that the amount of attention that she got, she didn't earn. Which, Which only makes sense if you realize that a lot of the people that were mad at her initially and helped spread that hate were wannabe games developers that were getting no traction because they sucked. Because they were bad. It's like, how come my game's not getting any traction? Because it's bad. Like, it's bad. Nobody wants to play it. It sucks. Go back. You see this all the time. Particularly in fan groups. Like, people fucking get fucking weird about like fan art and stuff. Like it's, oh my God, it's so much, they get so much weirder about it than the actual companies do. You know, now don't get me wrong, the actual companies are fucked up too, but like it's, oh yeah, oh my God. Yeah, she made a freeware game about depression. Yeah, apparently it was a little insightful. Okay. Cool. But people got mad because she got attention that they didn't get. And they were like, it's because she's a girl. And I'm like, well, she's one girl on a panel of 5 guys. It's not just because she's a girl. She's a girl who did the right thing at the right time. But that's not fair. Well, that's entertainment, baby. That's how the dice roll. It's about how the cards come out. You came up wanting. But to be honest, most people who complained didn't even have the right to be betting at that table. Couldn't afford the initial bet. Weren't good for it. One of the stupid funky cunts in the fandom menace, aka Gamergate 3. Oh, yeah. They're doing Star Wars shit now. He whines his Darth Vader wankfest is getting awards. Fucking who cares? Fucking who cares? Yeah, to quote from Soft, get good, scrub. Get on my level, scrub. You know, get good. Yeah. Well, I mean, like when it comes to like game development, yeah, get good. It's your only option. There's nothing else. There's nothing else to do. There's really nothing else to do except get good at it. You know? There's really nothing else for it. You're just mad that you didn't get the result that you wanted. You know, but then you got to think about, but when you do that, when you feel that way, you got to wonder what the result was that you wanted and why did you want it? But that takes introspection, which is the hallmark of the artistic process. It's why narcissists make such bad artists. You know? And it's another great example of how to decenter politics. Because if you're an artist, you only have so much time for politics. Truly. You only have so much time. 10 minutes or an hour spent arguing with someone over the internet is an hour you're not working, that you're not creating, or giving yourself a rest. It takes up space. It takes up a huge amount of space. And let's be honest, what are the arguments that you're probably going to get into online? They're probably going to be really petty. They're going to be really, 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 really small. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Most of the arguments you get into are going to be very, 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 very petty. You know, really of no consequence. One fandom I'm a part of went from let's write stories about big titty purple orc alien women and devolved into, hey, no advocating genocide. Whoa. Okay. Well, if you're in at that point, if you, yeah. At that point, you got to get outside. Outside, literally, and outside of that bubble, because holy fucking crap, that's ridiculous. That's stupid. You had time to be arguing that shit. Our sexy space babes? All right, let's check it out. Oh, it is a real group. Yeah, I'm over 18. Shut up. Lot of text. What? Who's Ian Redford? The fuck is going on? All right, I'm backing out. Backing out. People are arguing about things that I cannot understand because I am not part of the community. I'm out. Just disappear back into the hedge. You know, you didn't see nothing. Yeah, abort. You know, like we're not doing that. Oh my God. That's not good. You know, in response, instead, I shall assault your eyes. I shall assault your eyes with lewd but safe for work imagery. Apparently, that's the thing I got to do now. What the fuck? The hell? Hang on. Reset. The fuck? Oh. Nope. All right. Let's get rid of that. All right. Maybe not. Maybe it doesn't want to do that. Shut up. What the fuck? Oh, there it is. What the fuck? Oh, God damn it, studio mode. God damn it, OBS. You gotta stop fucking with me. Stop fucking with me. Can't take it when you fucking with me like that. There. Have some safe for work but lewd imagery. You're welcome. Well, she doesn't even. You can't even see her nipples. They didn't even put nipples on it. Well, boob monster is sitting on the bathtub. Yeah, she is. Although to be a boob monster would be a monster that lives between her boobs. Cat hermit likes the fuzzy boots. You know, one thing I will give the young, angry incel male demographic is, yeah, it does suck when a girl rejects you. When a girl you like rejects you. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. You can get over it. You can actually get over it. You can get over that crap. You can get over that crap and be okay. What do I think about the movie Monster Squad? I haven't watched it in a long time. But I liked it as a kid. You know, I think we could all. I mean, I'm not gonna argue. I think we could all use more women like this in our lives. But you know, sometimes life don't work that way, and we gotta live with it. Gotta live with it. You know. Yeah, they don't allow themselves to feel vulnerable either. That's actually a really good insight. Yes. Yeah, they gotta be men. Fuck that. Fuck that. No, getting rejected hurts. She's a fat ass for me. That's not big enough. I mean, we're not looking at her ass, but you can surmise its size from this picture. I mean, her hips are clearly the same dimension as her tits. He needs to be an Eldritch Monster abomination. That's my opinion. Now you see that ass, Jack. All right, I could respect that. But yeah. A lot of it is vulnerability. Allowing yourself to feel the emotion, right? She looks very well proportioned. I agree. That is some quality cake. It's coming from a gay band, by the way. Yeah. You don't have to be so guarded against yourself. You know, don't help nobody. It's not helping you. You know? I hate to see that shit. I hate to see incel shit because I'm seeing all the damage people are doing to themselves for no reason. For no reason. I mean, you got to think of it this way. Nobody really likes Elon Musk. Not anymore. And that wasn't because he showed himself to be vulnerable. It's because he's an asshole. Stop being an asshole. Stop being an asshole to yourself. I think that would be the biggest takeaway. Stop being an asshole to yourself and stop being around people who encourage you to be an asshole to yourself and to take that out on other people. Fuck that. Fuck that. You're hating on the thing that you desire most. That is terrible. Don't do that. Yeah, I haven't seen the show Adolescence. I mean, I know what it's about, but like I haven't watched it. You know. And oh. Oops. There we go. Yeah. He's just an asshole. He's just a South African asshole. Yeah. Snake eats hotel. It's a never-ending cycle of misery. Not getting laid is the least reason people hate you. I think that that's another thing. I don't think they realize that that's the least reason people don't like them. But it's real easy right now. It's real easy right now to be someone who doesn't interact with real people. It's super easy. So, of course, incel was going to start being a problem. Or something like it. For those same reasons, whatever we called it. It was going to start being a problem. Too easy. It's too easy. I think that's what the problem is. It's too easy to be an incel. No. And once it's in, it's hard to get out. Because that becomes a prison around your mind. It becomes a prison in your mind, man. Like, that's the kind of prison it's hard to break out of. And the only way out is to feel your way out. So you got to feel your emotions. You got to feel your feelings. You got to be honest with yourself. I think if I had kids and it came to sexuality, I'd do what my dad did. Talk about it to the best of my ability, and when that goes beyond my fucking expertise, find someone else. Find someone to talk to me about it. That's what he did with homosexuality. Worked out pretty well. A lot of folks that follow Jackson Wolfbane says, a lot of folks that follow that shit, I find them failing to ask the question, why is it like this? Why are people saying this? They lack the curiosity and desire to seek the answer. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It doesn't have to be like this. It's self-imposed. It's self-imposed in a big way. But you got to get in touch with yourself. Yeah, but being honest with yourself is a real bitch of that vulnerability thing. Yeah. That's the hard part. That's the hard part, but it's the part you got to do. No one can do it for you. No one will do it for you. No one can. Even if they want to, they can't. You have to do it. It's fucking, I get it. It's fucking hard. It's difficult. It gets easier. It gets easier each time. Gets easier each time. But I think we also gotta We got to build a world where we have to build a space where that sort of thing can be expressed. Not the incel thing. They got their space. But open sexuality needs a place. Absolutely needs a place. It needs places where it can be explored and discussed or felt. You know? And that's one of the things that's so depressing. You know, that's one of the things I think is so depressing, which is, yeah, it's really gotta fucking build that world. But it doesn't have to be as hard as it currently is. It could, in fact, be a lot easier if we simply allow it to be. If we simply allow it to be. Yeah, imagine something better. Hey. Let's see something fucked up about bullying. It's South Park. I think it'll probably apply to our little discussion here.
What's up?
Oh, hey.
You went and made a video and sold it without letting me know.
Huh?
Doing a video was my idea. It's the property of Bucky Bailey's Bully Buckers trademark. You got that?
But I worked hard on that. It's been really stressful and
Oh, it's been stressful? What's wrong with you? Kids are getting bullied at school, and with this money, Bucky Bailey's Bully Buckers trademark can finally become the legit organization it deserves to be. You greedy, selfish little prick! Oh, what, you gonna cry?
No.
No, go ahead, cry. Let me see you. Let me see you cry. What's up? I'm Mick Jabs, president of the movie company that bought the bully video. Oh, what? Stan Marsh got you to come talk to me? That little cliche conflict resolution Kevin. The video was conceived, written, and directed by the South Park student body. You got that? It was my idea. I told the students to make the video, and I produced the entire thing. I deserve to have my name on it. Yeah, only problem is America doesn't give a shit about an old fart with a Captain Kangaroo haircut. They want to believe kids did something on their own. Here's a cease and desist letter from our lawyers. If you ever claim any authorship of the video again, we will sue you for everything you have. But this was going to be the thing that finally made Bully Buckers trademark a national organization. Oh, you gonna cry? Oh, don't cry or look bad with your widow Captain Kangaroo haircut. Uh-oh.
My child, have you ever heard of a place called hell? It's eternal fire and it's gonna hurt real bad. Huh? Oh, what are you gonna do? Cry now?
Oh, man. Oh. Oh, man. Oh, it's fucked up. Hey, Jack, when did South Park start going downhill in your opinion? I don't know. Let me put it this way. There was a point at which I stopped watching it. but it was very gradual, and I just lost interest. Maybe somewhere around there. I don't know. All I know is that I'm not really watching it anymore. You know, I still like watching clips of it. You know, I still like the episodes I like. But overall, it just became a thing. It just became a thing that I didn't need to know about. You know, I had other shit I needed to do. I think that was just it. I think I just outgrew it. You know, I don't hate it or anything. I don't even know if I would say that the quality of the show went downhill. It just stopped. I just stopped being entertained by the show. And that's all I really care about. You know, like, I don't know, I want to watch it. I don't know, maybe. You know, not really. You know, why? I don't know. Just wasn't for me anymore. You know, that happens. You know, it just kind of happens. You just kind of got to live with that. You know, may not, you know, it's not, I know it's not the most satisfying answer, but like it is the truth. All right. So I think now's a good time for me to sign off. You know, we've been going for 2 hours, 45 minutes. You know, and until next time, which should be Monday, same Satan time, same Satan channel, I will see you all again. So until then, Ave Satanas, Disco Inferno, and remember, Satan and I love y'all very much. And I'll see y'all on Monday. You take care.